Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be making my Gingersnap Pumpkin Pie that I make every year for Thanksgiving. And we're going to start with making the crust. And the crust is made from ginger snaps. And if you've ever made a graham cracker crust, this is pretty much the same, only using ginger snaps. First thing that has to be done is we have to crush up our ginger snaps. But you're going to crush about 45 or so ginger snaps for your crust. And I'm going to just put them in my food processor and begin crushing. Okay, now after your graham crackers are crushed and they are where you want them to be, you are going to put them into a bowl. Now you are then going to add to those crumbs 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 2.5 tablespoons of melted butter. Then you're going to mix that up very well till it's good and blended and you have like a crumb mixture, like I said. And after you have mixed that in well together, you're going to take your pie plate. Of course, I have a nice, pretty snowman pie plate. You want to spray your pie plate so your crust does not stick. And you're going to pour your crumbs into the pie plate and press them down. And you want to press them down and up the sides of the plate. And then you are going to place that crust in a 325 degree oven for 5 minutes and allow it to bake. Okay, now when your crusts are out and are cooling, you can leave them to sit to cool. Then you're going to make your filling for the pie. And for your pie, you're going to start with 1 can, a 15-ounce can of pumpkin, pure pumpkin. You don't want the pumpkin pie filling that already has the sugar and everything in it. You just want the pure pumpkin. You can use fresh pumpkin if you like. I always use a can because it's easy. And then, after you have put in your pumpkin, you're going to put in 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. And of course you want to pack that brown sugar. And that is the brown sugar. Then you're going to use 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. I'm going to mix those ingredients together before I add more of the other ingredients. Okay, that quickly mixed the pumpkin and the cornstarch and the brown sugar. Then you are going to put in 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, 2, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. As I am making, so I'm going to mix those together and just add all of this and then mix it all at the end. I like to mix it together as I go, just because it kind of helps blend it better. And you're going to put in 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. So you all know you use salt in baking to help enhance the flavors and bring out the flavors of what it is that you're making. Then you're going to crack in 3 eggs. And I use large eggs when I'm baking. You're going to mix in your eggs. I'm going to scrape down the sides of my bowl. And the last ingredient that you're going to put into your pie is 1 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. Not sweetened condensed milk, evaporated milk. And you want to make sure that you shake it very well and pour it in. And I tend to mix while I'm pouring. And that is it for your pie filling. Your filling is going to be very liquidy. And you're going to pour your filling into your pie crust. Now I tend to put my pie crust on a cookie sheet so as to, if it spills on my cookie sheet and not in the bottom of my oven. So then you're just going to pour your filling right over that pie crust. And then you are going to place your pie in your oven, in your 325 degree oven for 1 hour or until it has completely set. I have another. Okay, now I am going to make the homemade whipped cream to go with the pumpkin pie. I like the homemade stuff. It's it's much richer calories. But we're going to use heavy whipping cream. And now this is a pint. I'm not going to use the whole pint because your whipped cream is going to whip up very high. So I'm going to use about a half of this container. You can measure it out if you wish. I usually just pour in and kind of take a guess as to how much is there. It's not a major deal. About a half a pint of your heavy whipping cream. And you're going to start to whip that. As you notice on my mixer here, I'm using a whisk beater. You're going to start to beat it before you add the sugar and the vanilla. You're going to let it start to come up. Now once your cream has started to bubble and started to begin to start to come together, that's when you're going to add your vanilla and your sugar. And I'm going to add about a teaspoon of vanilla. Again, I'm not measuring. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. About a teaspoon or so of vanilla. And you're going to add about 1/4 cup of sugar. And you're going to slowly pour that in while you continue to beat. And you're going to want to continue to beat your cream until it starts to form stiff peaks. You need to be very careful though. If you whip it too far, it'll become butter and not whipped cream. So you just need to watch it and, you know, be careful and watch how you're doing. So you just beat till you have stiff peaks. As you will notice now, the whipped cream sticks to my beater. And so that is pretty much where you want it, so that it kind of forms a stiff peak. And oh, is it delicious. And that is all you have to do. And you then place it into a container. Okay. When your pie is finished, you remove it from the oven and place it on a rack to cool until it's cooled completely.